Amid all the arbitrary cuts and refusal to pay out contracts Elon Musk has bragged about, said that he has done, just to be clear, you might notice that none of those contracts, and we've tried to see, are any of those contracts that he's deleting, that he's canceling, are the contracts the federal government has with Elon Musk's own companies, valued over the years at up to $38 billion. Well, the answer is no. He hasn't canceled any of those. And now the Washington Post is reporting that the Federal Aviation Administration is close to canceling its $2.4 billion contract with Verizon and awarding the work to Musk's Starlink company. In other words, breaking an existing contract worth billions with an American telecom company for some of the most vital systems in American aviation safety, yanking it away in favor of the company run by the guy doing all the cuts and overseeing the contracts? It's both deadly serious and cartoonishly corrupt. Joining me now is a lawmaker who's been outspoken against all the claims of cutting waste, Senator Chris Murphy, a Democrat of Connecticut. I mean, every day, Senator, I find something where I'm like, this sort of tops what I had yesterday. The history of American corruption and most corruption is the history of people giving themselves government contracts. and here it appears to be just being done right in front of everyone's faces.
Yeah, the history of American corruption is that it happens behind closed doors and somebody discovers it. And the theory of the case here seems to be that if you are shameless about it, if you just do the corruption out in the open, that it legitimizes, normalizes it, and okays it. That is not true. That is not the case. What's happening at the FAA is a fundamental corruption, as you pointed out. Starlink didn't win the initial contract. Either they lost the contract because they weren't qualified or they didn't even make a bid. And the contract has been awarded. Verizon has spent a ton of money putting this system into place, and Starlink is just going to usurp the contract because Elon Musk can, and because the whole point of this enterprise is to make Elon Musk even richer. But, you know, this is a pretty important contract.
Yeah.
This is the FAA at a moment when planes seem to be, falling out of the sky a little bit. And the idea that we're not going to have merit, for instance, have anything to do with the most critical systems that ensure the safety of people that fly, that is absolutely that's really scary. And so it's both corrupt and it's really dangerous. And I'm not sure that the American public are going to care that it's being done out in the open. They're going to still think that this is pretty miserable.
Yeah, I want to ask you about your interactions with your constituents on some of this stuff. We're only 5 weeks in. I think there's some latency in all this between kind of like the lightning and the thunder, between things happening and it kind of reverberating out. And, obviously it's my job to pay attention to this. People watching this are probably pretty locked in. You're locked in. But, this stuff gets to people late. But today we had a new round of layoffs. Again, is this legal? I don't know. This is the National Oceanic Administration and the National Weather Service. Tons of people getting terminated there. Are these terminations rippling out such that you hear about them, not through us and not through the news, but from the folks that you represent?
So I think people are more seized by the billionaire takeover of our government and the corruption. I think everybody out there is up for a slight, reasonable downsizing of the federal bureaucracy. But what they don't want is for that bureaucracy to be monetized for a small handful of elites. So what Musk is doing at the FAA, once people understand it, is going to change the calculus in terms of what people think about the Trump presidency, just as it will when they learn that the people Musk is firing at places like the National Transportation Safety Board are the very people who are investigating Musk's companies. I think the firings and the layoffs more generally will be a bigger deal for the public when they see the impacts. Those meteorologists that are being laid off, they actually do an important job. What they're also doing is taking down some of the critical weather balloons that allow us to make forecasts. So, once farmers can't get a reliable forecast, that in addition to the high egg prices because of the bird flu and the measles outbreaks that are going to continue to spiral all around the country, that's going to get people's attention in a pretty significant way.